I think you've come to the right place if you want to smoke fatties online. Here we are. We're rolling live. Cariboo Hart TV Tuesday night Toke. I believe we were sitting at episode 424, and we have Dirk from Lost Coast Plant Therapy hanging out with us tonight. Dirk, it's a pleasure to finally meet you. Put a face to the name and all that. And as Fluff just said, you were older than all of us, and yet you look younger than all of us. So this is the fountain of youth. You have it, my man. How you doing?
Good, brother. Good. Thank you for that.
So Lost Coast Plant Therapy. This is a product I've been hearing about for a while now, and yet I've never seen it in a grocery store because I'm in Canada. My understanding is it was until recently unavailable out here, right? So it's one of those things where it's probably would have tried it out had I seen it by now. But what can you tell us? Or let's just get right into the goodies right off the bat about this.
Well, you guys, I love Canada. I have Canadian friends. I absolutely freaking love it. And who knows, depending on who's elected this next year, I may be moving up. I'm just kidding. No. But you guys, it's taken 4 years to get into Canada, the longest it has of any country so far. And because of Canada Health and I think CFIA, I think is what it's called, right, Debbie? Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah. And finally did it about maybe a month ago. That little, but we had a couple of thousand people try our product up there, and all of a sudden, 3 years into this, Canada Health Canada goes, you can't sell it here anymore. And it's like, well, why? And they never gave us a reason. So we just kept working. We had a high-powered company working for us by then, because mainly we do everything organically, our own marketing, our own money that we raised. And this wasn't working. So this company helped us out, get in, and they gave no reason for it. They just said a $10,000 fine, no matter what we send, even a 2-ounce free sample, which, by the way, costs $20 fucking dollars up in Canada. My kids didn't even tell me that for a few years because they knew I'd get pissed, because here we give it away for free, or, we charge shipping somewhere here. But anyway, they gave us no reason. So we tried shipping it in a few times with some of our clothing. We give our swag away all the time, and they found it. One thing about you Canadians, you sure find some shit, and it's just astounding. And so we were like, okay, we can't do this. It's not worth it. We've spent all this money and time, mainly time, getting in. So we didn't sell it for the last year up there, or give it away or anything. So now you can get it from us. But the important thing is we have Quality Horticulture, which is a Canadian firm, using our selling our product. And it just started, I think, this week. I think they have samples out in all the stores. And then we finally, Hydrofarm is going to also distribute up there, Hydrofarm Canada. But we first went with Quality Horticulture. I just love the Canadians. They're a Canadian firm. Wanted to give them kind of a foot in. But now we can actually sell it there. And we had growers calling us with the wildest stories. They'd go across the lines and smuggle it back in. And they'd, parcel it out to like 2, 4, 6, 8 ounces per friend or person. So that just really upset me that it had to go that long. We also are not called Lost Coast Plant Therapy in Canada per Canada Health or CFIA. So we're a Lost Coast Plant Protector. Same exact company, but we couldn't use the word therapy. We're a plant wash. So we are not an insecticide, miticide, fungicide, even though technically that's what we are, even though it's all food grade organic products, but we're not registered there as that. They would never have let us in. It would have taken years longer and hundreds of thousands of dollars more to get in. So we got in as an adjunct pretty much. So we're a plant wash. I took fungicide, miticide off the labels about 3 years ago. The kids, my 3 children and my wife, were all co-owners of the company, and we vote on everything. And I just didn't like those 3 terms, even though they are, you need to know what they are. And so we're a plant wash. So now we're getting into Australia and New Zealand and Costa Rica with plant wash, much easier than insecticide, fungicide, miticide. So that's just, Canada itself. And like I said, I get probably 4 or 5 calls a day from Canada now, just because for so long we were going 2 more weeks, because that's what they were telling us. And then we realized that just isn't going to happen. It's just not it. So we are in now. We are, like I said, a plant wash, but it's just a name, just so it doesn't bring up any barriers or any restrictions in some of these countries.
So
Tell me a little bit about the development of the product, how you originally came up with this, and what the needs were, all that good stuff. Give me a little background.
All righty. So growers since 1968, but more importantly, I mean, I just loved cannabis through all those years also. But I was using 4 or 5 organic products for a long time, and I didn't like the efficacy rates. The efficacy rates were very low, and having to use multiple things all the time. Some of the strains that we developed were very precise, and I started noticing a terpenal change in the tastes, not necessarily the cannabinoids, but the terpenes. And I didn't like that. And some of the products I was using have been used for 5,000 years, Sulfur and some other ones, but I just didn't like what they were doing. I didn't like the efficacy rate. So we moved from the interior, Garberville, about 19 or 23 years ago, and we came to the coast, and all of a sudden I started getting things that I'd never had before, and powdery mildew, insects, things like that. It was like, what the hell is going on? So I decided to try to make this. So between my wife and I, if she wasn't around, there'd be no way that I could have formulated this. So she and I are the founders and the formulators of the product. My 3 children, Chloe, Bree, and Heather, are also co-founders. And anyway, I did this 18 months, 2 years, killed hundreds of plants, but I knew I would, and just came up with this. Like I said, it took lots of iterations of different oils and just so many different things, you guys. I probably used 5 or 6 different carrier oils over that period of time, seeing which was the best, and we decided on soybean oil. All of our products, except for the isopropyl alcohol, which is a higher grade alcohol, even though some scientists don't like that term, but it's the same alcohol isopropyl that Whole Foods uses for their baby shampoos and things like that. But everything else, food grade, you either ingest it or put it on your body, including the surfactant. It's a high grade surfactant, fancy name for soap. But anyway, we did that. And we liked what we found after about, like I said, 18 months, 2 years, and then just started making it. We have horses, and I'd make it in these 15-gallon pots or totes that the horses would use. They were clean, never used for that, just to let you know. They were perfect size for me to actually just mix by hand. So I was making 5 or 6 gallons a week, giving them to friends and neighbors, food and cannabis. And all of a sudden, a couple of weeks later, people going, man, can we buy that? I'm like, well, no, I don't really want to sell this stuff. And then they pressed me. So I did. I started selling it. And Deb and I were amazed at how much we were selling within about 6 months. And I've been waiting 50 years to get cannabis legalized. And of course, the year it finally does, we get the paperwork, everything from Humboldt County. That's the same year that we started selling it and realized, boy, this is taking off. And people really like the product. It really works well for them. And so we decided to give the paperwork back to the community, or the community, to Humboldt County. And we took down our large greenhouses and built warehouses in their place, ecologically sound greenhouses, or about warehouses. I kept 2 small 24 by 36 greenhouses so I could experiment in, but I don't grow cannabis any longer. And I went through about a 6-8 month withdrawals from it because, all these years I've just grown. And now I don't grow even my 6 legal plants. I don't have time to even grow 6 legal plants. So it just shows you how busy we are. But anyway, coming back to that, design the product. I'm gonna veer off like this a lot, you guys. That's why I may need to smoke here in a few minutes. So we did that. Lots of trials and tribulations with it. Finally came up with something we liked and started using it a lot on flowers, vegetables, horses, dogs. You can spray it on your feet. You can spray it on your arms. People started telling us that they were getting rid of psoriatic patches on their arms and athlete's foot, because a lot of people in the hills here in Humboldt and Mendo, they'll spray with bathing suits on. And they started noticing that. And I'm like, interesting. Even my scientists, my chemists will say, it's a fungicide and it seems to work well, but holy shit. One of my friends, Dr. Quick, is the inventor of Safer Soap about 55 years ago with a couple of other scientists. And he helps me out in a lot of this stuff. And he's absolutely amazed at our product, loves it to death. Didn't know who this guy was. he contacted me saying, hey, I tried your product online with 4 or 5 other products, something like that. And we were testing it. I'm like, oh, okay, fine. Have a good day. And so for months it was this, and little did I realize until I went to an event and he was there with some friends, and then they introduced him and he knew that I had no idea who he was. But anyway, he conducted experiments with our product, putting up to 6 ounces on plants, and he put it on periwinkles. And periwinkle plant is a very, very easy plant to kill. You could yell at it and the thing would wilt. But nothing else survived. Everything turned necrotic or chlorotic or necrotic at the 6 ounce level, and ours was still thriving. So, and I've never talked to anybody in the world that's ever used over 3 ounces for more than a few sprayings to get a very bad pathogenic or insect infestation under control. But the vast majority of growers use 1 or 2 ounces per gallon. And it seems to work really well, especially on preventative. The new paradigm in growing cannabis and food, it's weekly maintenance. That's just all it is, preventative. Even we just got into the food industry about 3 months ago. We're going to be doing most of the lettuce, looks like, grown in the United States. And we're getting into strawberries, grapes, orchards, I mean, and flowers. We have flower societies calling us up using it on very expensive flowers and very expensive bonsai, which I have, which I spray the product on all the time to show people that it's benign.
I would be super excited to see how it works with something like strawberries. I think just about every strawberry bush I've ever seen has had spider mites on it. And they're also one of my favorite things to grow and eat, right? They're just so amazing and flavorful. So to be able to try that out on something I know is kind of just seems to be a target plant for something like that. I'd be stoked. Oh, you've lost your audio. You're on mute or something.
Oh, good. That's all you had to do?
Yeah.
God, I'm stupid, you guys. I am stupid. But anyway, I lost some of these guys. How did I lose these guys, honey? What did you do? Oh, there they are. So strawberries, you guys. The main culprit is powdery mildew. Powdery mildew is a bane for strawberry growers right now. And as we speak, a friend is getting us into the strawberry trade. I guess one of the largest strawberry producers in California. So, but the cool thing is you can spray the product and just 15 minutes later take that product and eat it. You don't even have to wash it off if you don't want to. It doesn't, like I say, change the terpene levels or the cannabinoids. And for powdery mildew, it changes the pH. So spores don't like to land on it. These little, I think they're called hostoriums, these hooks that are in spores, they won't extend out because the pH just is what does that. And so strawberries, any berries, the product does really well on. And my heart's always just been in cannabis, you guys. So I've never really never gone out to try to get the food industry or the flower industry. It's just organically coming to us now with that. So we're super excited about that. Really excited about that. And we also found out that our product, for small vegetables like that and plants, not like huge, gigantic cannabis plants, but they're using like $82 of our product per acre. And they were using $180 before organics, up to $220 with incredible results. So we were really happy to hear that, because farmers, every penny counts to them, no matter how successful they are. And so we were really happy to see that. And the larger cannabis farms that have been spraying with helicopters and planes, we were experimenting with adding something to make it go further. So adding an ounce of isopropyl alcohol, it doesn't matter what strength it is, 70, 71, 90, 99, added that, beefing it up. So instead of using 3 ounces of our product, you could use 1 ounce of our product, 2 ounces of our product, ounce of alcohol, 2 ounces of alcohol, and it just saves you money. So some of these farms, it was saving quite a few thousands of dollars because they would buy pallets of our product. So that can be used on one plant. I talked with people that have 1 plant, 4 plants in a tent, and then 1.5 million plants in the ground. So I tell everybody that also about the alcohol. Just didn't affect the cannabinoid levels or the terpene levels, which was really important. Didn't fuck up anything. So
always the important part, not to fuck up the weed, right?
Yeah. Before I forget,
always.
What is the pH of the spray? Because I remember you were just saying something about the pH affecting the spores of the powdery mildew.
I'm not going to tell you that. No, I'm kidding, you guys. The pH, I think the pH is 6 something, but the important What 6.5? Thank you, Debbie. I've never been a pHer ever.
I don't
maybe
really.
maybe in water systems, yeah, I could see that. But even friends
My
on
cloner.
here, yeah. So I've never been a big pHer. I even bought a $400 pH meter one time about 15 years ago. You did it for a while. It didn't do anything. But I tell people, if you still want to use a pHing like yucca, cocoa, any of that stuff, you can. It's inexpensive, doesn't take much time, but you absolutely do not need to. I don't know of any of my grower buddies here that pH, they just stopped using it. And by the way, our product is a standalone, but it can still be used in IPM systems, the integrated pest management systems, but it is a standalone. I've had growers here using it for 13 years straight. And it would take a long time for Mother Nature, possibly hundreds of years, not just our product, but other products similar to ours out there, develop immunity to thoracic breakdown, metabolic breakdown, dehydration, the exoskeleton melts and their insides go out. You know, you can't do that in a few seasons. So it's sustainable for a long time as a standalone. But I tell people, I know a lot of people like using different modalities. They just think it's the best thing for them. And I always tell them, do one quadrant with your IPM and do one quadrant with ours, and just let us, tell me in a few weeks. So we've gotten so many pictures back of this and that, and people are like, what is in this? I go, you're reading what's in this. We're very transparent. You know what our inert ingredients are, not like many other companies, even organic certified. They can put in things that I don't like. So I don't ever care if I'm ever organically certified. We're certified clean green, EcoCert, things like that, because the NOP program can allow you to put shit stuff inside organic sprays and things. And I've had more than a dozen calls from organic farms, truly organic licensed farms around the United States, thanking us for getting a clean green. I go, well, they contacted us, are eco certified or something like that. It's the California Certified Organic Farmers. They contacted us. We got into that. That's not an easy thing to do. I know you guys probably aren't familiar with that, but these are the people that pretty much gave the National Organic Program its start before they were the CCOF. So like I said, it's a very, very, very clean product. You could use around babies. You can spray bees with it. We've had people spraying hives with it to get rid of veronomites. They have to do it delicately, but they can do it because those veronomites are contributing to the colony collapse of the change in the heat and whatever in the United States and around the world in the pesticide use. So our product does attract bees, praying mantis, and ladybugs. It's absolutely crazy. It actually attracts them. It's crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you said your product is available in Australia or will soon be?
Very soon.
Very soon will be.
We're shipping some pallets over to New Zealand. Some the gentleman that just called, I got to get back online with him. But anyway, we're shipping there, and he's going to be able to open up Australia almost immediately. And you know the reason why? The Crown. They still have 132 you guys under their fucking belts. And once you do that, we got into Canada. They were like, oh, you're into Canada? Oh, well, if you're into Canada, you could go almost anywhere now, because you guys are strict, and rightly so. It's great that they vet stuff really well, so the populace doesn't get any shit, putting in their lungs or in their food, eating it. So, but we are going to get in there, and that's because of you, because of Canada.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to touch on a question that was the major asked here in chat, and he was wondering, and it's a great question because I kind of stopped using like neem oil because of the effect on like the microbes on the outside, right? The effect on the microbes. So, do you know of any effect that your product has on the microbial population in the soils or anything like that?
It will kill beneficial insects in the microbial soils. It's mixed. As long as you put our product on first and then you want to use microbes, you can go ahead and do that, because again, this is a maintenance schedule because of the heating up of the earth. In my estimation, 1.5 degrees Fahrenheit. It's changed in the last 5 years. People around the world that we've been talking to never had powdery mildew, never had insects, have them now in the middle of Alaska, in the middle of some of these countries where you wouldn't think, and states that wouldn't have anything. They've all 5 years, they all think they're bringing it in. And I'm like, no, you're not bringing it in. It's just there. Those insect and pathogenic blooms have been there forever. They just are starting to now come out. I'll go to places. I do a lot of free consulting. I'll be right back, and I'll bring back an aphid, mite, to their, their horror. It's like they're right outside your grow scene, or they're in your fields. You guys, you just don't see them. And our product has a 95% efficacy rate. It won't do 100%. And a lot of growers think that it does. And I keep saying, no, it's still there. In 2 or 3 weeks, you'll see again what's cropping up. So that's why we like people doing it on like an every other day for the first week, and maybe once or twice the next week. Then you could get going the next, the rest of the life cycle once a week. And you could do it the day of harvest. And no terpenal damage and cannabinoid damage. Some of the extract companies have told us that some of these farms that now just use our product, they're seeing a percentage increase in both cannabinoids and terpenes, which is kind of cool. But I tell them, don't be telling them that our product's doing this, because nothing in our product does that. They've just gotten rid of an existing problem that they've always had. They just haven't been that aware of it, or it just comes up certain times and just, kick the shit out of you. So, and neem oil, by the way, bro, neem oil, I just stopped using because I did not like the taste. I have a hypersensitive palate that I can really smell. Unfortunately, sometimes it's not the best because I can smell stuff that other people can't. And it's like, but anyway, neem oil, just the efficacy rates, I think, are 60%, if I remember correctly. Didn't like that. That's why, I had to use so many different things, because using one thing a lot, I did not like that at all. That's why I went to an IPM system. Now I haven't used an IPM thing in 13, 14 years now, how long I've had the product. Debbie and I had it probably 6 or 7 years before we decided to really sell it, because I did not want to sell it. I'm 63, I think back then. I'm not retiring. I'll never fucking retire. I'm a rock sculptor by trade. Debbie's an artist. We're both artists. We'll always do that. But it's just something that late in life we were kind of shocked that it happened, that to this degree. And shit, I lost my train of thought again. God damn it, I hate doing that, you guys.
Well, hey, it's all right. I'll bring you on another one. So you were talking about IPM schedules and use with other products, things like that, because a lot of people like different modes of transport, right? So what are any kind of concerns and or products to either stay away from, or is it just kind of generally you can use it with everything? You just gotta kind of
we haven't had any problems with anything, which blew my mind. And with the microbials, when I tried those like 10 or 15 years ago, I didn't like my efficacy rates that I was experiencing. I know many people still use it, but most of the people I know don't use them anymore. Their efficacy rates again are low. Even though Debbie and I are regenerative growers, we are definitely organic and we're regenerative. We have many regenerative farms that use our product that are really strict about that. Even dry farming, they use no water to grow their cannabis. And those are some of the most intense profiles. But that's when I said I kind of lost it there for a second. The microbial issue, we have people that still use it and still will. They just put our product on, dissipates in 15 minutes. That's what we designed it as, to get off the plant in 15 minutes. Because I noticed that some of the organic liquids that I was using before, years and years ago, they'd stay on the planet for hours sometimes. And so I started developing secondary pathogen problems. And that's why the alcohol is basically was added to it. If I didn't have the alcohol, it would just stay on the plant a lot longer. It helps dissipate the plant. And by the way, we are tested here thousands of times a week, just in California alone. Most of them are legal, but I know a lot of black market people that are being asked to test their product because they want to see if it's clean or not. But we're tested like that often at parts per billion. Now, if you don't wipe your hands after going to the bathroom, if you sneeze, that shit will come out at ppbs. That's why at one point and years ago out of Humboldt County, a good sizable portion had E. coli in it, because now nobody was using gloves or anything. Now everybody is, and everybody has to, wash their hands and stuff, because parts per billion really you can get it catches anything. And that's why I'm really proud that we can do that. Plus, the first 6 or 7 times I yelled at growers calling, they said they had put our product on post-harvest because they left. They were happy. They got their harvest. They left somebody in control, 10 different reasons, and they developed powdery mildew 3 or 4 days into it. And they started spraying our product without, telling me. So after about 300 in the last, this is our 7th year selling, 300 people around the world I've talked to, post-harvest, Who in the hell wants to spray anything the last week, let alone last day, post harvest? But what was important, these people saved 75 to 90% of their crop. And half of these people were legal and had to test it, and it came out clean. That's what would, because if you ask me before I go, don't you dare use that product after harvest. Up to day of harvest, yeah, if you have to, go ahead. But if you use the product correctly, a lot of times the last week, 10 days, 2 weeks, you don't have to use the product. And of course I say that, and then at the end, what happens toward the end always? Those fucking bugs come up or a pathogen, and then you have to use it again. But you can do it because, like I said, I could tell when somebody's had peanut butter 5 hours before and when I'm talking with them, a few feet away. So I would notice a taste difference, a terpene taste with our product, and it didn't do it. And now I've never heard a complaint about that at all out of the maybe 15,000 growers I've talked to in the last 7 years.
So in chat, somebody was talking about kind of most of the horticultural oil type sprays like that and their interaction with sulfur, because sulfur is still used quite a bit. So does yours have an interact like the same thing? How long do you kind of want to stay away from using sulfur when you use your product?
I talked to the manufacturers, a few manufacturers of sulfur, because I had to get this down, and they will say anywhere from a week to 3 weeks, right, to use. I always tell people 3 days, 2 or 3 days. But then a few years ago, I've gotten probably a dozen calls now from out of the United States and a couple out of the States that people were using sulfur the same fucking day they sprayed our product. I went, whoa, 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 put a kibosh on that, please. They're going, oh no, we've been doing it for like 6 months. And I'm like, what? So I've learned a lot about our product because of things like that. So they were spraying it. I still tell people, if it's a time constraint is involved, just do it the next day. I go, if you really can do, you do. If you don't have time to do it, you could do that, but experiment. I tell everybody, never do your whole crop with our product. Experiment. Even if you have one plant, do one leaf or do one stem, one branch, so you can see with your own eyes. So we've had people, like I said, send us side-by-sides. Even the largest lettuce growers in the United States did a side-by-side. And we were shocked. And they were going, what is this fucking hippie goose juice stuff? Why is it working so well? Are you sure this is all the stuff you have in your... And we're going, we're a very transparent family. We would never lie about something like that. I don't even give a shit if you buy my product. I really don't care. And people are like, what? Because, again, I'm a reluctant seller. The kids promised me I wouldn't have to run the company, and they're running it globally with Debbie. And all I do is open states up, open countries up, and talk to people like you, which I'm just starting to do, and talk to growers every single day. Again, I don't care what you have. You can have one Monstera plant. You can have one, orchid. It doesn't matter. I'll talk to everybody. And that's what I do. I still will answer the phone. If I'm not here, I'm out of cell phone coverage. The only other people you'll call or one of the answers will be my kids or my wife, and they would know as much or more than I do. So you'll always talk to an owner, which is something huge. So back to sulfur. I mean, when I have that many growers saying that they use the sulfur in the same day, it just shocked me. And look, some of these guys in Massachusetts have been using an hour and a half after they sprayed our product because of time constraints, whatever the reasons for it, they did that. But I always would tell people, wait at least a day. And I did when I used it 2 or 3 days. But these people swear by it. I've seen their crop and stunning. They might as well be growing in Humboldt and Mendo. Their crops were just as gorgeous as anything out here after doing that. So again, the main thing is experiment, see with your own eyes. You don't have to listen to me, even though I'm the formulator. You don't have to just listen to what you see on YouTube, on Instagram. And I've only gone on our Instagram page maybe once or twice, and the website once or twice, to the chagrin of my daughters who run those. They want me to be on more of that, but I'm just not into that shit. I just started doing podcasts. I think you guys are the 4th podcast I've done, and I fucking love it. Every time I do it more, I want to do it more. And now this again, you guys, it's like, yeah, I like doing this. I want to bring friends that are influential in the cannabis industry on stuff like this too, to come on with me or to do a shot with you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
going back to a little ways back, I heard you say when we were talking about the the overspray and the microbes being affected. So it's safe to say, I think what I picked up was it won't increase the microbial stuff, but it removes enough bad stuff that the microbials can make more population, basically.
That would be a good way to say that. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. I thought that's what I was picking up, but I just wanted to double check because I love that idea of it's like Yeah, man, I'm not saying my thing makes new microbes, but it gets rid of the bad guys so that the good guys can come in. So that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yes. And I'm, I'm loath to say, do it at the same time, but because, microbes, regenerative soil, it's delicate. And then when it gets to a certain point, it's not delicate. It's, vital. It revitalizes the soil. It makes it better. You use less pesticides. You even can use less water. It's a drag that people have to use our product. It really is. And that may not make sense, but you have to use it because there's something wrong with your crop. But if you do have to use it, I recommend ours. And I would recommend 2 or 3 other companies, but they're no longer selling the product. So, and it's like, shit, okay, they went out of business. And there are still a few out there that I would recommend if you want to do a different, if you want to do an IPM. But when people use our product along with other oil-based products, it's the same modality. It's like, oh, stop. You're just wasting your money. Either use their product or ours, because you're not getting anything, any more benefit. And when people do have IPMs and they still are having problems, they know through social media they could call the horse's mouth, which you can't do at other companies. And even if you get a human, and I will tell them, I go, yeah, shit, Debbie.
To stick with.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks. I should have had my coffee before this. So when I say, when I tell people to do that, I go, listen, do a quadrant again, 1 plant, 1/4 acre, whatever, with your product, your IPM system, and do ours. And it comes out vastly different. You can see the difference in the growth of the plant, the way they look, and everything else. So I'm not one to go, don't use other products. There are great products out there. I just don't think they're as good as ours. Pure Crop One is great. Dr. Zymes, there's a bunch of them out there that are clean, that are good to use. They just didn't have the efficacy rates that I saw and tried when I used them. And our product's expensive, you guys. It's not cheap. And to compensate that with Canada, we lowered the price, because what came out with when we were charging in America, it was like, fuck that. There's no way I'm going to sell to Canadians at that price. I don't like that we have to charge it this much anyway. But we went through 26 companies or something like that to get our products, because we were very stringent on heavy metals and passing parts per billion. Even some good organic companies out there didn't do that. I'm not going to tell you what they were, in raw product, but we're very stringent on that it has to be that clean, because we're eating it and we're smoking it, and that's important to us. So
Yeah, I appreciate that passion in there, because that's the same thing. I mean, I personally, if I'm going to do everything I can, I'd probably wash a plant with water at the end of the harvest day, than I would much anything else. But
there you go. That works too, bro. That works so well. I tell people, cold water.
Water's the great equalizer, my man.
And you know what? Water is a solvent. People don't understand that. Water is a fucking solvent. They just go, no, it's not. It falls from the earth and you drink it and it grows. No, it's a fucking solvent and it works well. And I go, push comes to shove, you don't have any money. Spray your plant with fucking cold ass water so to where it droops, and you'll get rid of a good portion of the insects you have on there, unless they're root aphids and unless they're russets. Then there's a little bit different thing. But yeah, cold water, I tell people all the time, it works great, you guys. There's nothing wrong with spraying cold water on. And to wash our plant, you don't need to wash the plants after putting our product on. I know it seems anathema to that, but you don't. But people, I tell, doesn't take long, dries quick. If you need to wash your plants, go ahead. But I've never washed any of my harvest ever with. Oh, cool! Look at this little. What is this?
It's we like to do a little dab frog. It's when you time to smoke.
Oh, dude, wait a second. I'm gonna go get my dab. I only have 4 different strains of dab. Hold on.
Yeah, this dude fits in well.
He got all excited. He forgot to bring his dabs, though. That's all right.
It's like dabs.
Okay.
Dabs, holy shit.
Okay, guys. So this is. I only have 15 dabs here. It's all obviously water, ice and water, but by a young kid, my grandnephew, and it's some of the best I've ever had anywhere. He's absolutely amazing. And I mean, here's some of them. It's so hard to do what I'm doing on here, you guys. GMO, rainbow Skittles, and then we have Satsumi Skittles, Jealousy Cushmint. I mean, you guys, I never was a big dabber ever. Since I've been dabbing, recently, and I have a few of these puppies too, my Puffcos. Since I've been dabbing, I remember dreams. For almost 50 years, I've never remembered 1 or 2 dreams in 50 fucking years. Cannabis joints will make me not remember. I can dab all fucking day long, and man, my dreams are fucking wild. And it's like, good, I'm dreaming again at 70. Yeah, but I love dabbing. I never thought I'd smoke dabs this much, right? Ever. But hooking up with, or no, that's not the right thing. Linking up. Anytime I say that, my daughters go, Dad, you're not fucking these guys. Use the word link, not hook up. So I'm linking up. Sorry, you guys. And it's just like, I actually enjoy it a lot now. And I can go to farms now and go, ooh, give me some of that. I have the best growers in the world that win the Emerald Cup here and get all this great cannabis. And I just end up giving a lot of it away because the dabs, you know, they just, once I smoke cannabis again, even though they're tasty, dabs are the way to go. For me at least, especially the water dabs. Oh my God.
I'm gonna have to tell you about this wonderful train that we're all on. And have you ever tried a dry herb vaporizer?
I've been reading about that, bro.
These new ones. So these new ones are like super ridiculous. They call them ball vaporizers. All right.
Whoa.
So look up one of these, and it will turn that sun-grown Humboldt in flower into dabs right in your shit without having to press it, without having to do any of that.
Shut up! Are you?
Oh my man, I'm telling you. Look into it. You will. It will change your fucking world.
So
all guys, 3 of us are rocking them.
Guys, I fucking love you guys. What's it called again, you guys? A ball what?
It's a ball vape. If you want to look one up, look up the Screwball.
Yeah.
Screwball vape.
If you go to the vapevana.com and get the Screwball and use the promo code BOOFCREW,
we peddled shit.
You get yourself a 10% discount off that as well.
Is that you guys? The Boof Crew?
That's us.
Yeah, that's us.
So BUFF?
BOOF.
Of course it's Jesus. You guys old school. Well shit, I love that because one thing I've always done throughout the years, I've always gone liquid, stuff. I got the innovator stuff when they first came out, like phones that look like vape pens and things like that. I've done all that. I've been waiting for something like this. How long has this been out?
These things have been out for a couple years now.
Wow, I'm shocked.
Yeah, they're a fairly recent, past couple, 5 years. They've really kind of ramped up and started to come into their own. Past 3 years that the ball vaporizers really shown up and they've really improved, and it's game changing, man. It really is.
Oh, you guys, you may have just changed. I mean, I love dabs. Don't get me wrong, but bud dabs, holy shit! Yes,
I'm telling you,
sign me up for that. Holy
it's amazing. And then it's got the PDF on it, so you can dial them up as hot or as cool as you want. So if you want to blow like dragon clouds out, then you can dial that thing up, and you will. Or if you want to go more for the terpenes and get the full flavors of it, you can dial her down, and
I like that. Just like you said, there's sometimes I want to just get baked, and I'll just go and other times it just terpene. And it just stays. Matter of fact, we'll come into the room, and the room will smell so good because of the different strains that we have. It'll be like, and I go, boy, that's not like cannabis, because I don't smoke cannabis in the house. I never have. We've always had enough room outside to go out and covered porches and shit, covered patios, and I still don't. Dabs, I could smoke all day long and they won't smell because it's the next day. I'll smell it the next day. It's almost like cigarettes, and I'm a lifelong smoker, and it still grossed me out a little bit. Yeah. But I love this, you guys. Like, I know this is not what we're talking about, really. I mean, what we're good.
Well, and I can tie it into what we're talking about because it's real easy. Because these things, much like dabs, like you said, neem oil, you can taste it, smell it. You're very sensitive to it. You fucking get some shit that's got some neem oil still in it in one of these vapes or like a dab like that, you can really fucking taste the neem oil. You know what I mean? So it would definitely be a thing and a testament to your product if you just get the unadulterated flavor of your flower, with no difference after using your product, even as late as say day of harvest. So it'd definitely be a real testament to your product for sure. I'll have to try some and fucking find out.
I know we're not getting off, but that I need you all to text me back your addresses. I'm going to send you out swag. I need to know your size. We don't sell our clothing. Patagonia North Face card shit. We give good shit out. And I want to send you guys some of our product. And I don't know if you're growing it all or this or that. I don't know if I should send you a gallon, a 2.5 gallon, 2 or 3 quarts each. You know, I'm not sure what you guys are growing with or whatever, but you can always give it to family and friends. But yeah, so please I just had to get that in now. I need all your addresses so I can send all this into. What is that? What are you doing there?
We very much.
Oh, hello, girl.
Very much so. Here, we'll blow her up a little bit. So this right here is from the Hunza Valley, Pakistan. So yeah, we are more than willing to try out your product and give it a go. Like I said, I would have tried it out a long time ago if it was available up here.
But it's just, you had to know people. And then by the time it really started to get out there, Canada says, no, $10,000 fine, sir. We saw that 2 ounce you were shipping in the clothing. And I'm like, what the? I was just shocked that they found it. I go, how can they find a 2 ounce fucking sample bottle? And they go, sir, again, if it happens, you're getting your $10,000 fine. What's funny is that some of these podcast guys and gals, they'd never used our product. Now that's all they use. They don't use anything else. They've stopped, which is really cool. I didn't even ask them to do that. I don't want them advertising our stuff or anything like that. They just did it on their own volition, because I'm one to go try everything out there. Listen to everybody. Even though I'm the formulator, don't just listen to me. Listen to what social media says, because you can't lie and you can't bullshit on social media anymore. You get called out real quick.
There.
And I only know that because my daughter Chloe was on that. It's just like, it's a nightmare. I go, I don't know how you do that. But the cool thing about it is, if somebody ever comes on and goes, oh, my crop died with your product, there's like 10 people come on with a couple of minutes. Do all you guys have your phone with you that quickly that you could come on and they're like, Chloe, don't listen to him. This is bullshit. This is one of those haters. He doesn't even like himself. And that happens occasionally still. And it just upsets the shit out of me to hear that. Because if it was our products used too often daily, we would know very quickly if there was a problem. Very quickly.
We got one of your friends in chat shouting you out here. Rasufa wants to say hello.
Sufian?
No, Rasufa.
Rasufa. Oh my God. Because Sufians are bottler. I'm going, what? Rasufa, you dog. I love you, buddy.
Yeah, he's been a good friend of mine for quite a while now here online.
I'm a newbie.
A good friend of our community as well. So.
I'm a newbie with him. I think he introduced me a couple of years ago when he came up when we were at the Emerald Cup, and he's going, man, we're doing this and that. And I just like him. He's a big guy, intimidating, and he's just so fucking sweet. I want to smack him. If he was any sweeter, I would smack him. He's so damn sweet. And I go, listen, we'll give you, blankets, beanies, warming mittens, because the homeless, what he does every year. He's just absolutely saying, I love that boy.
This originated from Rasufa.
See, you guys, Rasufa, if you're listening, you shouldn't have given that. I will send that shit to them. That's how he is. He's so fucking sweet.
Oh,
he's a great member of this community, just trying to do positive things and get the right shit out there.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that. I didn't know he liked Canadians.
Apparently he does.
Like us.
I fucking love you guys. Like, I mean, I could easily become a Canadian. I just don't know if you guys would let me become Canadian.
Oh, we'll take you. Yeah, no.
We got a thin line near the border.
We'll take you on this grounds right here. We're not quite even 45 minutes into the show, and I think you've already sworn more than I do over the course of a 2-hour show. So that's awesome. I swear too much.
You can pump it up now, Caribou. You don't got to worry about it.
Well, this is great. I finally got a competitor here with me.
I'm worried he's giving me a run for my money.
Yeah. I finally got these boys cleaned up, Dirk, and look what you're doing. All my work.
So sorry. My dad was a fighter pilot, test pilot. So
okay, yeah, there you go. Well, two of us are welders, one's a chainsaw wielder, so
yeah.
We're not shy of that.
Yeah.
We keep it clean for the crowd.
Yeah,
I know you guys. And by the way, you should tell me if I need to clean that up.
No,
we're joking. We love it, man.
You're fitting right in. We're good.
Good,
Yeah.
good.
This is one of the things that we kind of pride ourselves in is being able to, instead of like a formal Q&A session, I want a discussion, right? If it's just straight up Q&As, I feel like I'm like the on the witness stand with lawyers hurling questions at me, right? And you're just like, let's chill out, smoke some joints, and see where the conversation, and
I do that occasionally, and I always get tested. I usually I end up going, I don't care if you buy my product or not. Here's a bunch of samples. You come back to me if you want it. And people are usually like, what? But I don't mind those Q&As. I've gotten used to it a little bit more. But you guys, this is not going to be enough time. I'm going to have to come back on maybe with some of the family, the kids. They're reluctant. They're not reluctant, but, they're a little bit more shy than me, but they really aren't. And I want them to come on, because they're the ones that are going to be taking this company. Because we've already had many, many people try to buy our company. And we're like, no, thanks. And we're at our 7th year and we're doing quite well.
Keep it family, man.
Is the family as passionate about cannabis as you are?
Yeah, well, they have to be, otherwise I beat them.
parenting right there.
No, they could actually beat me up, actually, now that I think of it. But they are as passionate. They just are, and they're passionate about helping people out and getting something like this, a clean product out there, because they knew for 6 years they were trying to get me to sell this, and I just didn't want it. And that's why they had to swear that they would run it globally. And I just want to do these few things. And we have our employees. Our employees are incredible people. They're friends. We pay them very, very well. We give everything we can, full insurance. We're ecologically sound. We buy credits from wind and solar, and everything we build is for longevity and cleanliness toward the earth. So, and by the way, regenerative farmers absolutely love our product. That should say a lot right there. Regenerative farmers and some of the best terpene levels I've ever.
Fickle people.
Huh?
Fickle people.
There you go. Oh God, that's too.
I'll be excited to give it a try. I've been looking for a good product. I try to spray as little as possible.
That's it.
My question was kind of going to be, now when it comes down time to it, it'll be a knockdown, and then I'll add bugs to the system. It just means that somewhere I'm a little out of balance and I got something messed up. So, I'll do a couple days of a spray, re-inoculate with bugs. Now, what kind of harm would I have doing that, kind of in that situation? Obviously, I wouldn't want to, spray my freshly inoculated bugs, but.
And because of this conversation we're having right now, you've spurred me on. I'm going to do very exact experiments with that, because I've had more than a few people, especially the last couple of years, now that we're really starting to get known, that people are doing that. They're using it in microgreens, just not just cannabis. Good one, brother, but a lot of things. And I'm just.
I knew I had some here.
I'm going to do better experiments with it, but full-on ones, so I can do, like when I started, I grew 800 plants, and I killed them all. I did it from cutting a clone, dipping it in our product, putting in a substrate that you're growing in, soaking it, all the way to day of harvest, cutting a plant down with beautiful buds on it that I just sprayed that day, 2 hours beforehand, came out clean, taste and everything. So that's the gamut I did. And I knew I was going to kill that many plants. The kids and Debbie, they don't like me really saying that. I go, well, I had to. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. My chemist, and they just laughed the way I did it, because, it took almost 20 months, somewhere around there, to come up with this. They could have done it in probably 1/10 of the time, because they know what they're doing. This was something I was just doing for myself. I was tired of using products that weren't working that well in the amount, and they weren't cheap. They weren't cheap. And the vintners really are starting to like us, because they don't have to use sulfur anymore. Nothing wrong with sulfur, but you still have to put everything on, respirators and everything, when you're spraying that stuff. And most of the people doing that in the United States are Hispanic. And so if white people were doing that, it'd be a lot bigger deal. So I just get a lot of smiles when I go to farms, and the Hispanic culture, no matter what country they're from, come up to me and thank me. It almost humbles me. Well, not almost, it does. Almost makes me cry. Because, a lot of these guys are, and sometimes in the day when they spray, they have to put these fucking suits on. With our product, you don't need to. And even though Canada required it, pissed me off. it says, you have to wear PPEs, you have to wear gloves and glasses. And I may get in trouble for saying this. No, you don't. But we had to put that on the labels, and we are. I've never heard of anybody having problems spraying our product. Like I said, when they started discovering, to my amazement, that their kids were getting less athlete's foot and they were getting rid of psoriatic patches on their arms themselves, that kind of blew my mind. So they're spraying themselves. We have people spraying cattle with it. We don't spray our horses because we're on a bluff over the ocean in Humboldt County. We're about 4.5 hours north of San Francisco. So we don't have a lot of flies or anything like that, but you can spray it on horses, on dogs, or anything. But, they make a lot of sprays out there that are a lot less expensive. And talking about the expense, our product is expensive, but we did extensive testing with about 15 different products out there for a while. And even though some were 75, 80% less expensive, the application rate and the amount that you had to put on was overwhelming, to the tune of the closest person that got to us was $3.49. I'm not going to tell you who they were. They're still being sold. It's a good company. Ours is $1.49. Most of them were above $4 and $5 because the frequency that you had to put it on. And let's say you do have an infestation level, you guys. Pathogenic, not so much. Insect, I'll get back to the pathogenic. It would require, like today is Tuesday. Spray today, spray it again on Thursday, spray it again on Saturday. That's what I would do. Then spray it once or twice the next week in that 4-day period following it. Then you've disrupted that 10-day period where the vast majority of insects hatch. And so our product takes care of pupating insects, eggs, everything. And I didn't make it as a soil drench. The first year somebody called from southeastern Colorado, they had acres and acres of hemp and THC and corn and alfalfa. They use it as a root drench for root aphids. I'm going, what the fuck is a root aphid on a cannabis plant? What are they doing there? I'd never heard of it before. And I know it's been there for a long time. Nobody I knew. And they drenched it and it worked. So I'm like, holy shit. Okay. So we have people that are growing in those 50 to 100 plug units, where they're square and they put the clones in and the roots dangle and that spritzes the roots. We've had people take those out and spray the roots with our product, not damaging them, to get rid of root aphids, just to show us how clean it was. And these are people that really love our product, of course, but you can actually spray that and not, kill any filio root systems in the ground or in the substrate you're growing into, the really fine white ones going off. Doesn't do any damage to those. So we've had people, I'd say 50% of the people out there put too much of our product on and it's not doing any damage. It's just that they're wasting their money. And that's where we try to get people to start off with 1 ounce. With powdery mildew, a lot of people can just do it. 1 ounce. Some people are down to a ½ ounce, but in certain areas of Michigan and places like that, you can just breathe on a plant and you'll eventually get powdery mildew. They will use 1 or 2 ounces a week. Most people will use 1 ounce, but a lot of people like to sleep. And I know what it's like to lose sleep being a grower. And so they'll just go, we don't give a fuck about the money. We'll do the 2 ounces. We'll even add the alcohol. I go, you don't necessarily have to do the alcohol with the pathogens. With the insects, instead of using 3 ounces of our product, that 1 ounce of alcohol makes a difference. It just does. Even with somebody that's not growing a lot, that has plenty of money, I like giving them the latitude. Do you want to go this way or that way? It's not going to do any damage to the cannabis plant, I promise. So, and that being said, the product will last about up to 3 weeks, but we could only put a week on. But it's lasted up to 2 to 3 weeks here with people in the hills here that can't get our product in a container. Just re-agitate it, keep it out of the sun, re-agitate it. If you have a long line, you spray it back into your substrate or back in if it's an open container where our product is, just for a few seconds, because a long line will separate. There'll be oil and surfactant and alcohol that are separated. You can spray on a plant and you get spots on the leaves. It's not going to kill anything, but I like plants to look healthy and good. Who wants to throw shit on there that's going to put yellow spots on leaves? So the product will last that long with the same 95% efficacy rate, which is really important.
That was also one of the great parts about the old neem oil spray, man. Those plants just look fucking gorgeous afterwards, didn't they? Fucking just shiny, green, standing up. Fucking love that shit.
Are you reading my mind? Because you're saying everything before I'm going to get to it. Maybe not right away, but the one thing, people will spray our product and go, what's with the plants? The first few times I'm going, oh God, what happened? They go, well, they're standing upright and they're gorgeous and they just show an effervescent green. I'm going, well, it's not our product, because there's nothing in my product that is going to make that happen. You have something on the plant that you don't see or this or that. I don't care how small it is that it got rid of, because you guys, there's all the 6 ingredients besides a little bit, a teeny bit of water. We don't use very much. We use R&O water that the facility does. It doesn't. Yeah, it's crazy. It just works so well. I keep thinking about it. I'll sit here and go, this is the start of the 7th year. And I go, God, is this real? Because we were going to have to live off of our Social Security because we were never big growers and we were within the legal limits. And we did our artwork, hung with the kids growing up a lot and with the horses and our dogs. We could have gone big many, many times. We just didn't want to do that. So this has been a godsend. I mean, just even though I'm an atheist, I have nothing against people that believe. Most of my friends believe. And I had to throw that in. But yeah, we're just surprised at how well it's taken off. And like countries have invited us over, even communist bloc countries. They know, they buy all the shit from the EU and the United States that's banned, and they have 30 years of it, and they sell it to these countries, and they use it free willy. And it's like, I didn't eat very much the first time I went to Vietnam because of all the poison packets and things I saw in all the fields. So it was shocking. I lost 11 pounds in 8 days because I just had water and a little bit of rice and some fruit. So I told the kids, you're young, still eat, go ahead, you can do that. But yeah, so everybody's getting hip to the organic movement, even conventional. When I started eating organically back in the 70s, there was nothing organic. 1970, as a matter of fact, it was only natural, 1 or 2 organic products. And where you were, everybody was 70 or 80 in there, Lundberg's, which is still in. So the organics has come a long way food wise, but also regeneratively speaking, because people are using things like this in their regenerative gardens, because regenerative solves most everything and for the most part is good, but there's still fucking problems that come out even in good, healthy, regenerative, organic, wonderful soil with some of the best farmers I've ever known, and it still comes back. That's why I'm saying it's a fucking drag. You guys have to use our product, but if it's necessary, hell yes. And like I said, it's $1.49 if it's used properly. That's pretty damn good. That's per gallon. And even though other things are like $50 to our $200 a gallon, or a lot of stores end up selling between $160 and $180 after they get it in, because they start selling more of it. And it's a draw for people to come in and buy the things that they need all the time, like, your substrates, whatever you're growing in, and adjuncts and fertilizer, shit like that. So a lot of store people now that carry our product actually start just using our product, the actual workers and the owners. So that's kind of cool too. And a lot of owners have told me that, up to a dozen products at one time. Now they're down to 4 or 5. In some places they only see 2 or 3, and ours is the one that's there. So, and I'm not saying ours is the only one, because there are many other products out there that are similar. It's just the efficacy rates just aren't as good. And that's just with me experimenting. I'm not relying on anybody else doing it. And I had the luxury to do that and the money to buy the plants and everything, so I could do, kill all those plants, even though that sounds horrible. So
no, you're talking to growers here, man. We kill plants that look at us funny because they looked at us funny. Perform or get the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? So no, it's all good. We murder stuff around here.
Yeah, in the early 80s, we were growing 250 plants outside, producing 250 pounds back then, because it was right before camp started and everybody had to go underneath ground. We only did it 1 year. And of course, camp came and took everything, but I knew every one of those strains. We had about 33 strains and 250 plants. I could name each one, even though some looked really similar, depending on how it was on the terroir, the side of the hill, the amount of water it got, and the minerals in the ground. And the same plant, was a little bit different, even though, as we all know, kids are a little bit different from their parents, and seeds aren't as much, but there can be. You can get the same fucking seeds out of a plant and just go, what the fuck? What happened? It just, it does. It's just what I've seen in the years that I've, been growing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So all the years of growing, man, what's been your favorite strain? I mean, I figure we peddled your product for like an hour. Let's talk about some weed now.
It's been a fucking hour, you guys. We've talked way too long about this shit. Yeah, let's talk about that. Look at that. Look, hey girls. Anytime anybody brings up a plant, it's like, hey, and people will be shocked. I'll knock on their door and they go, "Who are you?" I go, I'm Dirk. And they went, wait a second, we know Dirk. Yeah, Lost Coast Plant Therapy. They go, you're here for my 4 plants in a tent? I go, I knew you were here. I drove into this state. I knew it because I keep phone numbers. And I mean, I'll go visit big farms, but I love doing that. But I love seeing plants. I love it. So cannabis, favorite strain. I have a lot of favorite strains, probably a dozen that I would need on an island. But still, from 1971, Santa Marta Gold from Colombia. I've never had anything since something similar. It was phenomenal. Santa Marta Gold. We were pissed because we went up from $10 an ounce for a premium to $15 an ounce. We were like, who are these people thinking? They think we're idiots. And of course, we couldn't get enough. We'd buy everything they have. And it was better than the Panama Red we would get, better than the Acapulco Gold. Even those were delicious. Oaxaca Spears from Oaxaca in Mexico. Those spears, they were 75, 80% seeds and stem. And that 20% of canvas we got from a huge spear this long, we get 4 or 5 joints. My joints are big. I can't roll small joints. I have to roll at least 2.5, 3.5 gram joints because my little joints are pitiful. I look at them and I cry. So I just roll big joints, and that's all we would get out of the Oaxaca Spears. So, but Santa Marta Gold, bro, is still, after how many thousands of phenotypes are out there? How many different? I mean, I'm just blown away. And it's still Santa Marta Gold. Anybody ever is in Colombia, you go to Santa Marta and try some of that cannabis. It's beautiful, gold, stunning. And people are going, that's paraquat. I go, no. Paraquat turns things necrotic. It's black with brown edges, not gorgeous brown gold with such a smooth hit to it. Very rare, because a lot of cannabis back then still had a lot of moisture. They weren't curing it, drying it properly. So it was just harsher. Still delicious. And luckily, living in Southern California when I was doing it, then that's how I could get all those fucking strains. But yeah, Santa Marta Gold, you guys, the best to date. And you know how many strains I try every year? New ones? I have to. When I go to these farms and these events, I'll go, holy shit, yeah, okay, let me have some of that. And believe me, like I said, there's 12 that I would consider, boom, but there's probably...
That's got to be amazing being a grower's favorite and just going around these places and having people just throw some like world-class weed at you, huh?
No, it never happened before. It never happened. It's like, oh, there's Lost Coast Plant Therapy. And it's not because I give shit away for free and stuff. I'm just really enthusiastic about it, as you guys can tell. I'm actually a little tired right now. Normally I'm to the point where it's like I've had an espresso, but I purposely didn't have an espresso today because you guys would be ruined. I would still 5 hours later and smoking as many dabs I want. Coffee just gets me going. So I'm a little bit more subdued now. So you guys got me on a quiet night.
This is quiet?
Yes.
Damn.
I know. This is a quiet time for Dirk.
I love a good espresso and dabs, though, man. That's a good combination.
It is. And people, if they get too tired of me quickly, I know it. I can see it in their face. I just shut up, and then I don't say anything. And people are like, what's wrong? Because people are so used to me talking like this, even though I would classify myself as a sociable loner. I am a sociable loner. I'm not really a people person, even though it seems like it. And everywhere I go, people are like, oh, you can have so many people at your funeral. You know how many times that's happened? Only when I turned like 65, people started going, man, you can have so many people at your funeral. And I look at them, I go, my fucking funeral. And they mean it in a good way. And then they see my expression on my face, like, I don't plan on dying anytime soon, but thank you very much that I'm going to have a lot of people at my funeral. I go, there's not going to be anybody. You're going to burn me. You're going to put me in ashes, and you're going to throw me across the ocean here that we're above. So
yeah, it's like, I don't give a fuck how many people are at my funeral. You know who's not going to be there? Me, motherfucker.
I'm really going to.
You're not going to be sitting there. You'll
show up. Yeah, but yeah, Santa Marta Gold, you guys, I can't get over that because it's only brought up because almost everybody I get in touch with like this, everybody, you're the 4th podcast, and people I see at events, they go, what's your favorite strain? And they go, you got to try this. I try it, and I'll see them the next day. I go, Santa Marta Gold, I'm so sorry. You know, it still is Santa Marta Gold, and they still grow out there. It just, you'll never find it. It's kept there because I've never seen it anywhere, even by Colombian people that I know. So, yeah, it's crazy.
Okay, so that was at this point we're looking at about 50 years ago or plus, I think by then, if I'm trying to get my math
50,
here while I'm high as shit.
50,
What's up?
53.
Okay, so what's something a little bit more recent that you've tried that you're really excited
I
about?
really like Lance, which is grown by a gentleman, Jason, who has Ridgetop Farms in Southern Humboldt. He wins the cup, and he just produces. He's a very organic grower, and he has a strain called Lance that I really like. What's the other one that I really like? A Gelinade, and God, there's one. How can I forget it? God damn it! I'm bummed that I can't remember it right now because it's one of my favorites of him, and it's absolute. I have growers will ask me when I talk. They go, "Hey, by the way, do you know somebody?" Oh, sorry, you guys. Oh, hello, girl. Oh, pretty girl. Is it, my camera's not that well? Is she looking close to harvest or no?
Oh God, no! This is just in veg. This is
Oh, on here it looks like I see like $50 size colas on there, but that's obviously not what I'm seeing. God, that's beautiful. Oh
yeah. This is just one of my girls that's going to be in one of my veg product or one of my.
cool, bro. You're gonna fucking love our product, dude. It's just you're gonna question why the plants look so good. And I always just tell people that it's not our product. Again, and I wish it was our product, but there's nothing in there. Yeah, that's beautiful. Wow.
Yeah, that's one of the joys of being in like the community and all this around that we have is this was a cut that came from one of the community members. This here is a juice box cut. Yeah, man, she's a bad. If you like gas, this is like shit right here.
I'm a gaseous person, definitely. Wow.
Yeah, man, that's it right there. And she's a grower, you can tell, man.
You guys, I have 2 daughters, 2 sons. For females, if they own the business or it's a majority female run business, you will get a discount big time with that. Because I know this is still a man's world, even though it's getting better. But yeah, so any female grower that calls up or female owner of a business, you will get a good discount from our product just for being female. A lot of my guy friends are like, that's kind of sexist, Dirk. I go, oh, please stop.
Yeah. Let it balance out a bit and then we'll call it even, okay?
Yeah, but you'd be surprised
what they're saying.
How little it happens. That's how few females are out there that are majority, in the business are actually female owners or female growers. No, I fucking love I always used to love female middlemen. See, we can't even call them that. Middle people, middle person, fucking what. But I used to love girls that were that because they were so just, wow, very forceful. I love that. They in a man's world, which it was back then. Even my wife, she was a middle person for a while. She was a fucking middleman, but she was a middle person for a while. And yeah, it's kind of cool. But yeah, that shows you how little happens because we don't get a lot of females, calling us up or saying, oh man, it's just me and my husband. I go, but do you rule the house? Of course I do. Done. You get the female discount because, if they say the opposite, they won't get the female discount. But yeah, you guys, other strains. Let's see. What's the one? Carbon, honey. What's the one at Carbon one? Carbon fiber. That's another one I got that I really like quite a bit. Have you guys heard of Carbon fiber?
I don't. That one I haven't heard of.
Oh, you'd like it. I usually have a quarter pound of everything in glass jars here, then seal and milling the glass jars, so I can keep cannabis fresh up to about 12 to 16 months, like it was just harvested. But you have to put it in one of those good Italian glass jars, and then seal and mill the jar, the huge jar. It lasts for a long time. But yeah, it's gorgeous. Purple, just tight. The crystals on it are astounding. The trichomes, it just looks like a gnarly little thing sitting there, just like so many strains out there now. Those ones that are just, they're ugly, but they're so beautiful. They have little bumps coming out here and there, but they're just gnarly little things. That's what this carbon fiber is like. What are some of your strains, guys? Good. What are some of your good strains that you guys have had recently? Because there's so many that I forget half of them because I get inundated every week with them, every stinking week. I almost started keeping track of them on paper, and I looked over what I had at one time. I'm going, look at all that fucking paper. So it just happens.
Yeah, and then it matters of like how far do you want to go outside of the circle, right? Because if you just stay in California, you can get yourself a 500,000 strains and probably a new one every other week. If you go to the Midwest, you can get a few fucking million more. So it depends on how your circle is, where you travel. So
exactly, sour diesel is a good example. Back then, when sour diesel started coming out, Midwestern sour diesel was to me the best because there are different stories how it originated, as with everything. Some people will say the sun's out and it's nighttime, and they're like, no, it's nighttime. That's an extreme, but you know what I'm saying. So it was some of the best. Eastern diesel was as good as anything in California that I got, and I've never tasted bad diesel in California ever. But that's one of the times where this pig farm in the middle of the United States grew wicked diesel to the point it's like, this is diesel. How can this be diesel? So yeah, even like you were saying, depending, where you are, they have their strains that are going out there. And of course, everybody loves California strains just because there were so many of us out here, especially up here in the Emerald Triangle, Mendocino and Humboldt and Trinity, even though Santa Cruz County was really big. And then the Sierra Pacific, the Central Sierras, they started growing a lot down there. But that's the only reason, because we had people traveling all over the world. Have Pakistani, Afghanistan, Indian, Chinese, Tibet. There's some of the craziest fucking strains in the world. And then growing them where we work, the latitude lended itself to that really well. Some of my favorite strains are grown through a Thai father. If anything was grown with the Thai father, the multitude of strains that I've tried with that are just, not necessarily by itself, the Thai, but it's good. Don't get me wrong. I love Thai. Thai is wonderful, but a Thai father mixed with so many strains I've had has never been bad. Isn't that weird? It's strange.
Interesting. So the Thai father, obviously, something really resonates with you there, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. And it grows, so it makes things grow well where they shouldn't really be growing, lending itself again, like, wow, it's just the mix that it was grown with. And I'm sure not by choice. In the beginning, most growers were like, I like that. Let's do it just like I did. And I would do a stem on a plant and, seed it. Or if I really liked it, we would do an entire plant. And, then we'd have 1 billion fucking seeds, because the few thousands that we'd get from a stem is more than enough we ever needed. And out of that, we'd get different phenotypes. It's like, how, wow. Okay, this is from this male, this is to the female, and yet this is different than those. And we would grow dozens of these just to make sure, that, is this us being stoners? Or I can't wait to get that screwball. I can't wait. Damn it. When I see you do that, it's like, I'm serious, you guys. After we get off of this, I'm fucking going online and ordering one, and I can't wait.
Okay, I'm telling you. Let me explain it. I was a doubter. Fluffy's been kind of pushing it for a while, right? And I'm like, there's no way I can just take my cannabis and do no processing to it whatsoever and get a dab-like experience.
Wow.
No. And then I tried it with some nice fresh harvest, right? I got a tent right here that's drying at 60, so I can just pull something right out of there that's like, you don't get any better or fresher than that. And I had some really terpy stuff. This Pack-a-Punch, it's called, and it's super lemony.
Wow.
And it literally put a pucker on my tongue. And I was like,
I love it when cannabis does that. Not a lot of strains will do that. So wait a second. You're telling me that you will take a bud like you would to fresh frozen, just pluck it off the plant and put it in there, and this is what happens?
Well, not wet. No, it has to be like cured. Like I harvest it, and 2 weeks later, maybe it's dry enough. Sitting in my 60%, 60 degree.
Fucking incredible.
Yep. And I haven't combusted like joints or bongs with a lighter at this table that I'm sitting at since I've received this. My wife can vouch if she's still in chat. Yeah, like I do if I'm outside and my pipes and my talkers are near my whatever and I hit it. But you know what I mean? But
yes,
you're gonna like it, you'll thoroughly enjoy it if you're into dabs and like the terpene flavors, like the flavors of all the everything going on. I love it.
A lot of my friends,
you can dial the temperature up and down, so it's like if sometimes it's too harsh, you can turn it down.
That's exactly. A lot of my friends, we hang out with mostly with people much younger than us, and not kids. They're in their 30s and 40s and 50s. You guys, that sounded weird. Yeah, we hang out with the kids, but yeah, they like just getting it up and producing cloud like you would from a joint. And I turn it down, and you hardly see anything come out. But I'm just like, just like, oh, so good. But I like that. I haven't taken a big hit like that directly in quite a while. I got really high off of that. I kind of like that because otherwise I have to do 3 or 4 bowls of dabs to get the same type of high. I keep forgetting. And I usually just take it in my mouth and then put it in my lungs. That's just the way I've smoked my whole life. I very rarely drag into my lungs. Very rarely. And it's in my mouth and then down. You lose smoke, you can't take as much, but that's just what I've done forever. But yeah, I can't wait to get one of these, you guys. Just seeing you guys use these, and it's just like, that's just wow.
Well,
go ahead,
when you do get yours, I think that's a damn good excuse to bring you back, and then we'll sit here. We'll just get deffed up on our vaporizers and just shoot the shit.
I have 6, maybe 7 strains. And so I'll bring all of them out, let you look at them. And this time I'm going to get on the computer. I was bummed. We've got all the way. Even my wife, who knows way more than I do, she's the one that taught me. We still couldn't get it on our computer because look how I look on this. And on my laptop, or my iPad, it's the same thing. I'm always looking to the left because the camera, it's just like, so I thought I was really going to be professional this time, and God damn it, it didn't work. I'm going to make sure it works. My daughter's coming tonight. She's going to make sure this happens.
You never know. Maybe it is working because from what we can tell, where you're saying your age, I think the iPhone knocks about 30, 40 years off or something like that.
Well, when I'm on my iPad, people are like, do you have makeup on? I go, do you dye your hair? I go, if a redhead dyes his hair, especially they're out of the redhead club. No red hair for you. They're done. And it's like, no, I don't dye my hair. And
that mean they get their soul back?
Yeah, that's it. And they go, well, where are your crinkles around your eyes? What are those called? Crow's feet. And I'm like, and I smile all the time. People are like, what are you smiling at? I'm not. I'm just, the sun's out. But and so people are amazed. I go, everybody looks like me at 70 years old. And then my kids will point out somebody that's, 15 years younger. And I go, that fucker's way older than I am. And they go, oh, yeah, Dad? He's 55. And I'm like, oh, God. I go, well, there's something wrong. He's sick. There's something wrong with him. And so people are like, and how much do you smoke? I put a lot of 30 and 40-year-olds to shame when it comes to smoking. Still.
Yeah.
Man likes the fucking party. That's what I like to hear.
I've been humbled lots, man, sitting down at some table thinking, oh, yeah, let's get to it. A couple minutes later, I'm like,
and you guys, I don't know how often you're down here, but anytime you come through Humboldt, we have a great little guest house. You guys come stay with the beautiful place. If I ever hear you guys came through here and didn't stop by or stay with us, shame on you. But yeah, I really mean that. It would be cool. We could go to a farm, could show you stuff. Not that you haven't seen your share. You guys, the longer it gets into legalization and stuff, I keep forgetting going to farms is no big deal. Now I go to 80 acres and see 80 acres of hemp. And then as far as you can see, it's like, yeah, whatever. And before
to still see it on the mass-produced level is still a thing, right? I mean, I still see a combine in a field of corn and go, Jesus Christ, that's fucking, and to see a field of fucking, I mean, I have a big room, full of weed, and I've seen big facilities full of, but I have not personally seen field of weed, and I would like to see that.
You will. As soon as it gets out of Schedule 1 this year, hopefully Biden will get off his lazy old ass and get it changed. It's up to him. Fuck the DEA, those bastards. They've been keeping it down forever. And it's even our own health institute says, get this off of Schedule 1. It's not like heroin and cocaine. It's more like cough syrup. And I'm going, no, it's easier on you than fucking cough syrup. But once that happens, and then legalization goes to all the other 25 states that are out there, we already have 35 or 36, then it's going to be changed. Then you're going to see that in Iowa and Kansas. You will see 500 acres of not bad commercial, but it's not boutique, of commercial cannabis grown for as far as the eye can see, because it's much more amenable to growing out there than it is in Humboldt because of our terroir. It's the hills mainly here. And that's why we came up here, is to get away from the man. And now that it's legal, the vast majority of growers aren't growing any longer in Humboldt. There are starting to be ghost towns here. I hate saying that, but it's a lot of people got hurt by that, especially with all the regulations. Many growers couldn't grow, and it was really shameful because it kept this county alive for years. We have Humboldt State University. It's actually Polytechnic now, so that was good. It was a lot like Santa Cruz, having a good school. So it was different than a lot of rural areas. We're way more liberal on things and environmental, even though there's a healthy mix of libertarians like me, which fall on that side, but there's a lot of more, right. And people like that. So it's a healthy mix of everything up here, which is cool. Oh, good. Rasufa is texting me something. So that's cool. But anyway, you guys, yeah.
Leave him alone. He's on a fucking show, Rasufa. Jesus Christ. Fuck. Get in fucking chat if you want to talk to him.
He's like intentionally throwing squirrels out there.
Right?
Oh, that's too good.
Jesus Christ. You know what? Next time.
Damn,
he's going to love it. He always knows when I'm on, so watch it when you guys... Would you get this out like next week or something, or what?
What's that?
The podcast.
Oh, hell no. They're watching it now, man.
Wow.
Oh, why do other people take a couple of weeks to get it out?
Because we don't edit things. We just do everything live. So how you doing? And off we go.
So we've got 54 people watching right now.
Oh, that's not that many.
No, it's not very many.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean 54. How come there's not 5,400 with the famous Dirk Peterson? Oh, Jesus.
Hey, man, you tell us. You were supposed to bring the fucking party. We got the show. You're supposed to bring the party, man. What's up?
I'm flying out of here on a jet tomorrow. I'm going to be up there before you know it. You guys are going to be blown away when
That's why he doesn't give a fuck. He's flying out on a jet tomorrow. He's
leaving on a jet plane.
There you go. I'll have to go to Illinois first. So how far are you away from Joliet in Pontiac?
Go way farther south. I'm closer to St. Louis than I am Chicago.
Oh yeah, because that's about an hour from south.
I'm in the real Midwest, not in Chicago.
Sweet, man. Wow. Yeah, I love that. A lot of people don't like that section. I loved every section I've lived at because of being in the Air Force, my father, and I've loved everything. I love the Midwest. I love the Upper Midwest, the South, the East. And of course the West, but I liked all parts of the United States. I was kind of surprised. I didn't think I would like just nothing but seeing, acreage of corn forever for 100 miles. But even that's cool to me. I love shit like that. But that's where my father.
Well, the beautiful part is once the industry does get legal and we can get these plants in the ground, the Midwest was where the biggest hemp used to be, when it was legal. Way back when, and I can't wait to show the world what the Midwest can do with its shit when we get to put it in our soil.
You guys are gonna fucking rock, and I tell the people out here, I go, you've seen nothing yet with this collapse out here, which is a drag. There'll always be good boutique cannabis will always be out there, even when it gets legalized. And then you could buy a carton of cannabis cigarettes for $15 to $20. And you can buy a pound if you're legal for maybe $200, maybe. And that's where we're headed. And I don't like saying that, but it's going to be another commodity like everything else. Boutique, you'll still be paying a couple $100 for the boutique stuff, but they're going to get really good at it. These PhDs going out there now working in the cannabis world, they're getting really good at this, and they're going to start doing mega crops, unfortunately, for the boutique growers that are going to be, you put those in front with the boutiques, and people will be going, well, I'm not sure what I'm going to take, but boutiques will always win out just because of the care involved and the way it was grown. But the general public, that inexpensive cannabis is going to be huge. That's why everybody grow your own. Try to just grow your own a little bit. I don't want to hurt the commercial farmers out there, but when it becomes legalized, shit, yeah, you could throw a few plants in your backyard and grow 8 pounds, 10 pounds in reality with certain strains like Blue Dream, and then give everybody in your family a great Christmas present and a birthday present. Give friends of yours, yeah, here's a 1/4 pound, because that's what people do, because you can give it away if it's legal, just as long as you don't sell it. And that's what I'm hoping happens, but it's going to really depress the market, because for so many years, I mean, you guys, I've been around when it was $5,400 a pound, and it went up from when I started at 16 to that, and then went back down. And now it's $1,000 for a really good, super good pound. You could find some around for $1,400, but those are very rare, and they're still delicious. But you can go out and buy a $700 or $800 pound now and just be fine with it, especially with this screwball. Can't wait.
Oh, it'll change your world totally.
30 seconds after we're off, I'm purchasing one, you guys. I'm serious. That's how excited I am about this, that I can have something that doesn't require another step, even though it's only water and ice. That's okay, but doesn't have to have any of that in. Even if it's similar to that, holy freaking shit, I'm shocked that I didn't know about this. That's because nobody out here is doing it. I've not seen anybody with this. No growers.
It's catching a lot of traction with more people nowadays. And I do think the quality of the actual what you get out of this, that smoke, that satisfying fucking smoke,
that's huge.
Yeah. And yeah. So that's what makes it catch traction, man. And so I think you definitely, besides us, you'll start to hear more about it for sure.
That is so cool. So does the actual bud, does it turn brown?
Oh yeah.
But
I'm about to do one here in a second, or Fluff probably has. Oh yeah, that's his return.
Doesn't go away. It's still there after you finish your. That's
the ashtray. All I do is vape out of this thing. That's it. That's what my ashtray looks like.
Damn. I wish even though I have a new iPhone, or a relatively new one, the picture's not that good. On the computer, I would see it incredible. But that's wow. So when you do it, you're done. You could take one good draw, depending on what you put in, and you've got all the goodies out. Okay, there. Wow.
Wade, put it on and go.
Yeah, it really is just like doing a dab with flour.
How is it heating up?
The best way to describe it is there's a few layers, like about 700 these little ruby things in there, and the air comes through the top. The whole unit is heated to whatever temperature you set it to, and the air goes through the top and comes out the bottom at that temperature. Goes over top of your flour at whatever temperature you set it at. So it's not a flame. I call it's like a lighter, but like no flame, and you set it any temperature you want. You put it over top of your flour. When you inhale, the air drawn over top vaporizes all the can.
So it's kind of like infrared. Then it's not getting a direct flame, because that's basically what it is.
Yeah, and it just it's so good.
Sweet. And it doesn't go 450 degrees to where it burns it. It just releases the terpenes.
You can crank it up as high as you want. You can get that experience.
Wow.
Or you can bring it all the way down to burn off just the very the lowest volatility. You know what I mean? So
pretty much.
My favorite is you just put the smallest bed of flour on there, and then you put fucking your favorite kind of hash on top of it, whether it be fucking dry sift or some old ass hash, or even your dabs. You put your dabs right on top of that flour, and you just let it rip, man. Yeah,
pretty neat. I keep mine like above vaporization, but below combustion. We're just enough. It gets me going pretty good.
Oh yeah. Here, look, I took that hit. That's what it looks like afterwards.
Wow. Okay.
That's my wife's thing right now. So
that's almost like the volcano, you guys. You remember the volcano?
It's better.
Okay, if you have used the volcano, I
have two of them. I gave them away because I just don't use them anymore. But yeah,
it makes the volcano look like a beginner's toy. They're not even in the same league as each other. Wow. That's how much better it is than a volcano.
Unfreaking real. Wow.
Yeah.
Because the volcano was the first
Revolutionary.
clean hit. You know, wow! Look at that.
Yeah, I know the volcano is good for its time, but like all technology for everything, it doesn't seem to take long before the next thing's coming up. And usually,
Yeah, they hit it on the nose with this one.
It's little frog. It's so goddamn, and it makes me want to go do a dab now, you guys. Holy shit! And
that's the idea, though, right?
I love it.
Want to dab with the frog?
That damn it! I have to do it.
Got to do it.
Got to do it.
What are we going to be dabbing on?
Jealousy Cushmans.
Oh,
Jealousy Cushmans. I've got some jealousy I need to get. It was a jealousy by a watermelon slushy, I think, that I need to. That's some good looking fucking rosin right there.
This is the dark stuff too. Most everything is very, very, very translucent. I
don't mind the dark rosin.
Yeah, me either. Me either. But most of it is very light. And there's some that's almost like the GMO. It's almost liquidy. Let me show you this, you guys. It's almost liquidy. He doesn't know why it does that. Here is the GMO.
Oh, let's see if we get
yeah.
Look at that. Here, let me. There. Look at that. Look how.
Great oil.
Yeah. And he can't get it any other way. This one strain. But yeah, they all are just, I kind of like this one too, though. I think I may do this. Purple Rain. Purple Rain is another one. Here's what Purple Rain is.
There you go.
And I love
that's very nice looking.
Yeah,
very nice looking.
All of his artwork, you know, he has beautiful artwork on the. I'm trying to. Camera is, God damn it. Yeah, like here's the artwork for Tsunami Skittles.
Oh, there you go.
Yep. But he's really good. It's called Cold Gold. That's his thing. Cold Gold. Absolutely delicious. But yeah, that may be a thing of the past. But of course, now that I have 40 of these, 45, this is going to last a long time. They're in my freezer, freeze dried, or rather seal milled. I can't wait to get this. I'm going to rush order this thing. I hope it doesn't take more than a few days. Damn.
You know what, man? There's still always a place for dabs too. You know, there's something about the nice, easy portability too.
When I first bought a few dab rigs, the glass ones, it was like, I have to use a fucking torch. I have a little stick, it drops right in there, no mess. And I just, with these Puffcos. And
that fucking hot knife is a hell of a weird fucking oddly nice upgrade, isn't it?
It is. Look at this thing. Here's the camera. There. Look at that.
A good friend of ours brought one to a big meetup that we do in Southern Illinois, and the first time I got to use one of those, and I was like, "Holy fuck, that is slick as shit to fucking dab with." Like, I might have to get one of those.
I love these, and this is their upper model. It does a really nice little light thing here, but I just like the way it hits better than their cheaper model, the Puffco.
That the Pro, like the new Pro, the V2 Pro or whatever.
Yeah. Their chambers are much more sophisticated than the regular one.
Yeah.
Oh, that Jealousy Cushman. Oh yeah. Wow.
I love this.
You guys are making me take it directly in my lungs because I'm trying to show off.
You're doing fine. You're doing fine. Yeah, that knife now came in. Why'd you gotta show me that? Now I gotta get one of them damn things.
I know.
Every time I see one, I'm like, ooh, and then it goes away. Next one again.
This one, and I also have a silver one that has that. This is a green one, the new one, but they didn't have what I wanted, so I just got this a couple of weeks ago. I just like the more expensive ones because they just have a better hit, and so I take one when I travel and I keep one at the house. I even got a top that has a special cap so you can dump it upside down and no water comes out. It's fucking crazy. God, I can't wait to get a Screwball. I love the name Screwball. I don't know why.
Yeah, after the show, we'll make sure we get you the fucking right link sent over there. Send you to the right place.
Yeah, let me shout out to whoever, without question, man.
Oh yeah, and he's a good dude too. The guy who makes these, he's just real passionate about helping people be healthier. Just taking in a little less smoke and.
Sweet. Oh my God, I'm gonna send him a jacket. I'm gonna send him stuff. I definitely without question.
Find him on Instagram. He goes live quite a while, and
Oh yeah.
I can't speak him all big. He goes live all the time. That's what I was trying to say.
Wow.
And you'll be able to catch him
He's
on
over.
there and probably jump on with him and shoot the shit.
And it's Screwball YouTube. That's it, right?
Vapvana.
VAPVANA.
You guys do that one more time.
VAPVANA.
Vap Anna.
Vapvana or Vapvana, I think it is.
Vapvana. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
I'm telling you, I haven't really used anything else in a few good weeks now since I received it from him. And that's a lot to say because I'm a smoker, man.
That's huge. Because I anything I tried new I'd go into it and it'd be months before I'd really go away from the joints. And now I think I finally rolled a joint about 2 days ago, and I hadn't rolled a joint in almost 6 weeks. That is in 53 years. That's unheard of for me. God, we could be selling now this thing. I want everybody to have this because I have a feeling a lot more people would be in tune for this, even though solventless, solventless, this stuff is incredible. It's absolutely delicious, but this is just a bud. Grow your stuff and pop it in. Holy shit. I can't wait to try.
It's what we need is for you to get on here and try it. And then, you've pretty much sell it yourself just with your experience and your commentary as you're doing it, I think.
I would love to do that, you guys. I'd love to give this guy that without question.
I will, after the show, honestly, it might not be tonight because I've got to get up ridiculously early and move for work, get moving. But tomorrow sometime, I will shoot you the link. I'll email you the link for Vapvana and get you where you need to be.
You guys. I keep forgetting you're 3 hours later, correct?
Yeah, I'm in BC, so it's Pacific time zone.
Oh, you are. So if you're in British Columbia, then you're okay. Good. So, but I keep forgetting Illinois and stuff. So you guys definitely, if we're getting off, so text me your addresses, please, your full name, and my wife will send it out personally tomorrow and get all that stuff to you. Beanies.
You want us to email you?
I'm sorry. Yes.
You want us?
Email me, and this is my personal number that I'm gonna give you guys. And I don't care if the internet has it because this is what I answer the phone for with the growers around the world, but only Monday through Friday Pacific Standard Time, 8 to 4. You can tell I've done
anyone on this channel that phones you is going to be phoning for product for their plants.
Or if they want questions. I love talking with people, as you can tell. When it was 30 to 40 growers a week in the beginning, that took a good 8 hours plus a day with me. Now I get that in a week. Thank God, because I could spend more time with people. But yeah, you guys, hats, beanies. The phone number is 707
Yeah, we get there.
407 8264. Everybody gets it, Debbie. Anybody that calls here. I know they always are going, you're giving your personal number out. I go, I don't give a fuck. That's day one. So if you want to call me, call me.
I love it.
And a lot of times I'm out of cell phone service because I'm doing consulting in areas that are pretty far away from urban areas. It's sketchy here on the ranch, but a lot of times when I can't get back, sometimes hours. And if I'm in another country or something, I'll get a satellite phone because I don't want to be out of contact with family. But sometimes I'm that way, but you'll always talk to an owner. But yeah, that number I gave you, 707-478-8264. That's my number you can email me with, okay? And give me, your hats. What do you want, a flat build or curved, your beanie, your color size? I'll send you guys rain jackets and some warm jackets. But yeah, I love doing that, especially with people. You're my brothers already. And I can't wait to see you guys face to face one day.
Oh, it'll be a good time when it happens. I have no doubts at all.
Thank you, brother. Thanks. Yeah, an hour and 37. I always go, what are we going to talk about? And it goes by. Boom.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, always
come on, you guys. And I want to thank you so fucking much for I just love saying it, the screwball. I can't wait. I love it. It sounds like an alcoholic beverage. Give me 2 screwballs, please. But, I can't wait to go online and see how it works. You guys have been absolutely wonderful. I love all 3 of you guys. You guys got a great sense of cannabis and life and humor. And I love the way the format is. This is great. And,
we still got 20 minutes if you want to stick around and get high.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We ain't going nowhere yet.
Oh,
We're just fucking around.
You guys, I'm here for as long as it's necessary, and that'll be just 2 hours, and that's fine.
Well, hell, fire up another one then.
Yeah, let's get the dab frog going.
Oh, look, here he goes. Here's the frog. I fucking love the frog. Oh my, oh my God.
Well, blueberry it is.
Look. It does it. Makes. Oh,
we're it doesn't take much for us to blast another, you know what I mean?
It doesn't take much.
Pretty much. Any excuse we can get. It's like, oh, it's been 5 minutes since the last one. Let's go. But the fun thing is though, like oftentimes we don't always just drop that frog on people unnoticed or without warning. Like sometimes we'll just kind of wait and or it all depends on who they are, right? Sometimes we get serious people that their sense of humor just isn't right for that kind of thing, right? But it's like, let's go get this. This is good.
Oh, I can see that happening, definitely. No, I fucking love that. That's great. I love that. Let's get ripped. Let's
do it.
So now you said you didn't grow much, but towards the end of your grow, or how did you prefer to grow when you did grow yourself?
We always stayed small because we wanted time for ourselves. Our personal time was really important. And, you know, I probably should mention them, even though I have before, but, you know, some pretty big people in the world that used to buy our product. And at one point they were known more than Jesus Christ. Hopefully that doesn't come back to me, but at one point in the 60s. So, but we just stayed small. We always have. So I could do my rock work. I could be with Debbie, with the horses, with the dogs, even though I don't ride really much anymore. They're more pets for me, but my wife rides. And we just like hanging. We really never went on vacations. Well, we never went on vacations. We would go individually because somebody had to always be at the farm. We couldn't, trust people to do what we did because something would always go wrong, especially where we lived before, where there was no electricity. We had generator power. And if that went out, we were screwed, which it always seemed to do. So we didn't even take vacations together except when this company started. So that was kind of cool. That was a cool thing about it. And it freed us up quite a bit to do more things, not growing, because growing was my life. I would spend a good 6 to 8 hours a day in these places where I grew, whether it was a greenhouse inside or outside, and just because I loved being around them. And if friends wanted to come hang out, they could, this or that. And I just, it was something that I really loved to do. And I just loved the product. And it was cool making money. Don't get me wrong. The money was good. We always paid taxes. That's one thing we always did because we didn't want to get in trouble. And, but that was back then. And like I said, we did it not part-time, but it was so small that you couldn't live off what we were doing that small amount. But what we did have was highly prized. So that was really cool.
Did I just hear you say that you grew weed and it ended up in the hands of the Beatles and that they may have smoked that weed that you guys were growing?
I didn't say that.
Holy fucking wow.
I didn't say that.
It sounded like maybe.
You can apply what you guys want, but I did not say that.
Huh.
I know. So I have to do that, and Debbie was one of those women that in the 60s when they came on the Ed Sullivan show in 1963, she was one of those kids at the base of where they were playing Pulling Your Hair Out. I don't know if you've ever seen videos of that before.
Oh, yeah.
But girls were screaming and they were crying, hysterical. They were fainting. That was Debbie. That was one of those, because Debbie's 73, is just a bit older than me. And she was one of those. Yeah. So who knew one day?
Robber, huh?
Of course, she wouldn't pay attention to me if we were like 13 and 16. But no, wait until we get into our 30s. And that, no. But yeah. So, but I did not say that. So you did not hear that from me. You can infer what you would like. But yeah, it was kind of cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I know. It's, again, I'm not saying anything because I can't. My attorneys would kick my butt. But yeah, so it's been a good life. Like I said, we were never really broke the law as far as we were ever concerned, because when we did grow legally, it was 1996. And, that's when we did commercial, where we could go to 3 or 4 dispensaries as medical. And we had all the paperwork, and it was still bizarre, but we still were small. We were considered very small growers for that. But we would stagger it when we were inside. We would stagger it so we'd have a small harvest every month, drive down to LA. And, we never had savings. Our savings at the end of every month was maybe $1,000. Occasionally got down to 500, but that's just the way we chose to live. Crazy. Don't get me wrong. I know we never had health insurance until this job because we couldn't afford it. Even though we grew and we made okay money, we still couldn't afford health insurance. So, there are a lot of things with cannabis that people get a misconception from, because most people were like us, just, mom and poppers. That's all we ever were. But just happened to have a good product and know certain people that had certain connections. So we didn't have to endanger ourselves. So, but, that's in the past. Luckily here in California, it's legal now. And, that's, no problems. And like I said, federally, it's going to happen sooner or later. There are way too many conservative states out there that have it already, and more that are looking at the tax benefits from it. It should be. I think there's 78% of the people in the United States now, 78% want it decriminalized. Not medical, not recreational. They want it decriminalized. So it's like cigarettes. And that's a huge amount. When it was the 60s, we were kind of shocked at, but now it's 78%. I think that's the figure that I read not long ago. That's really cool. It's going to happen. And like I said, the DA is the only one really kind of putting a thumb on it. They'll come around. I mean, states wouldn't be getting people's, if you went to jail, getting their records expunged if it wasn't, going to be federal sooner or later, because, that's something that's going to happen federally. So that'll be huge, and it will happen very soon. They can't stop it. Like I said, when very red state senators are going, let's do the medical first, and then let's see how that goes, which all of us did, and then go recreational. That will happen.
The proof is incontrovertible when it comes to cannabis and the medical benefits of what it can do for people. I'm sorry, the fact that we've got some fucking old hat fucking conservatives, whatever hell we want to call them, doesn't matter. The fact that they don't want to believe, like, it's
on both sides, bro. Even the Democrats. I'm a libertarian. On both sides, they do that. I'm more aligned with the the Democratic side, just because I believe in social responsibilities, and the Republican side of being fiscally responsible. You can do that, and that's libertarian. But I'm not one of the right side libertarians, which there are, like in anything. So, but these red states with these guys that are wacko on so many things, that cannabis is okay. That's a huge push. Yeah. There are thousands and thousands of growers out there that are right-wing Republicans. They're not crazy. They're just right-wing Republicans. Their policies are just different. Thousands. I meet them all the time.
Well, and that's why I think you see a lot of politicians in this day and age. It probably has been all the time. I just wasn't aware of it because I didn't pay attention to politics as much when I was younger. But instead of doing the bidding of their ridings and constituencies and stuff like that, they're putting out their own personal politics and be like, oh, I govern over, these people. It's like, nah, motherfucker, you work for us. And you best not forget that. And unfortunately, we have too many people that are not willing to just you're not doing what we've asked, get the fuck out.
And they're too old. I think there should be an age limit to a degree. I'm not even though I'm old, I think we need people that are in tune with what's going on. I haven't been happy with Biden at all, even years and years ago. It's just their policies all do the same thing. And when they have the pharmaceutical companies, and then they have the tobacco companies on their side, right? That makes it even harder. But when they read statistics, cigarette smoke and alcohol goes down in every fucking state that has legalization. You think they like that? And there's nothing they can do. Nothing. And they don't like that at all. They're the ones that are putting money in a lot of shit, because alcohol and cigarettes have been around for so long. You guys, I remember commercials on TV where a doctor would be going, Pall Malls, this is what you should be smoking versus the other brands. Doctors. So that's how far we've come, in
I'm not old enough for that.
Yeah, yeah, I know you guys are all way too old for that. I know, but that's even then. As a kid, I could see it's like, what the fuck, and it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So once that's done federally, it's going to change. It'll be better for everybody. Crime does not go up in areas where dispensaries are. For the vast majority, in certain areas, there's crime no matter what. But that's been disproven. There are even schools now that are allowing dispensaries. There used to be 1,000-yard rule, but they're so well guarded now. Everything's so regulated. It's like buying alcohol in Utah, very regulated.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff, you have to go through this and that just to get alcohol, but it's like it's loosening up. When kids, 8-year-old, 10-year-old kids are given CBD oil, CBG oil, not THC oil, and it stops their epileptic fits and things like that. We've been a big believer. I started growing CBD in 2008. And I had a wonderful strain, an early Canatonic C6. We had a 23 to 26% rate of CBD versus 0.8 to 0.1 of THC. It was like 0.3 is what the 0.3 or 0.3 is what the federal limit is like for hemp. And we weren't that far off of it. So, and we loved what the CBD did, smoke wise, salve wise, and oil wise. And it's a big testament. The pharmaceutical companies didn't like that at all. And to have children that were gone through so many drugs, they've gone through it for years. They're 5 and 6 years old. Their parents, both stripes, right and left, couldn't do anymore. Had to move to a state where cannabis was legal for medicinal, and especially so they could give it to under doctor supervisions to these kids. There hundreds of epileptic fits went down into what you could count on one hand in a month, shit like that. And that was a big testament. That's really what started changing. And overnight, people like Sanjay Gupta and stuff that weren't that hip on cannabis, which really pissed me off. All of a sudden, when all that came out, there was a change because it was verifiable. These were Navy vets and Rangers or somebody that not your fly-by-nighter that would do this, that got their daughter fixed on that because nothing else was working and all the chemicals were basically killing them.
Well, and here's the thing that interests me because you're talking about that, and the reason I do what I do here is I've always the medical aspect of this, and I'm glad they rolled all this out medically, right? And the fact that you've said all your stuff tests clean afterwards, no trace, trying not to have.
Yes, medical grows love our product. They love it. They love it. And that really was big to us. True medical people that needed it for many different things. I've needed it forever to sleep. Nothing worked for me sleep. I won't take Ambien and stuff like that. Cannabis is the only stuff. But I didn't remember my dreams until I started dabbing. So that means that the essence of cannabis prevented me from remembering dreams, maybe, like I said, 1 or 2, 3 in 50 years. I just got to the point where nobody really dreams. And then, of course, I know everybody does. And who remembers? And now dabbing has brought that back. It's astounding to me that every night I'm like, man, I wish I was my dreams because I was ruling the world, other worlds, flying to places. I mean, shit that it's like, yeah, this is what dreaming should be. But yeah, the medicinal aspect is huge. I've seen it work with too many people. I've put a few friends down. Put them down. They were dying in hospice and, had the morphine and had everything else under the sun. And they didn't because of the oils that I was making for them and the THC and the CBD oils. And I was giving them massive amounts every day, up to 1 gram each. THC and CBD that would last somebody a month, but they weren't taking the morphine. They weren't doing anything else. The hospice nurses and doctors were amazed. They could converse, before the end throes of death really happened. And it was astounding. They even ate, which is amazing. And they wouldn't have been that way on morphine or anything else. They would have been peaceful, but they wouldn't have been able to communicate, know that you were there. And that's what I saw with THC oil. And I changed more than a few doctors and nurses' views because some of these places were in very conservative areas. And I was just there because they were friends, and they knew about the oil. They just wanted to see. And it was one of the last things they did because it's easy to pop a pill, to get things done. And it just, all of a sudden everything else starts happening. You have constipation, you have all this stuff. It's hard to go to, so many things. So medicinal cannabis is really huge. And I'm really glad that was a big aspect of the cannabis legalization, because I still feel it's that way. It's still a medicine for many, 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 many people. And many people that take it recreationally don't realize that it's a medicine also, because the addicting factors, maybe a week, you're a little irritable, and that's it. I've had to do it a few times, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I didn't like the way I was. If I don't drink coffee, one strong ass cup a day, I'll get a headache the next day and be kind of irritable, and nothing takes away. I don't take aspirin or anything. And when I do, it normally works. I need to take it maybe once every half a dozen years or so. I just don't take medications. I don't need anything, knock on wood. And yeah, it would give me headaches, coffee. So yeah, it was crazy. Uh-oh, what happened, you guys?
Sorry, I
this
was
is,
talking
giveaway
while
thing.
muted there.
Oh,
So
there. I just have to put my glasses on. There we go.
Rasufa was awesome enough to offer up a giveaway. And so for all the people watching, you type in Dirk's name there. That'll get you entered in for the draw. Get yourself some beans. You know you want them. Us growers are like junkies when it comes to beans. You always got to have more, so you don't want to miss out on this. Rasufa is a bad brother here, and we appreciate this, Rasufa. Thank you, my man.
Sweet, man. That's great.
Yeah, he's always got some good stuff.
So we're got about 5 minutes or so left before we get out of here. Is there anything? It's been awesome, man. Like, this really has been a pleasure. And we definitely want to get you back in here sooner than later for a round 2.
I've had a ball with you guys.
Is there anything else you want to say? Get out there before we do get out of here.
No, that's another whole conversation. I'm sure I'll repeat a lot of the things they did, but no, I still have too much shit that I've done out there, which is fun to talk with people.
Hey, we're glad to save it for another day as well. That's I'm already looking forward to it. We haven't even finished this one yet, so it's pretty awesome. We'll just give it another minute here and let any stragglers there get entered in for the giveaway. We'll get that one done. Once again, Rasufa, thank you for putting this on, brother. While we're at it, why don't we do a dab for all of our Patreon supporters who helped make the wheels on the bus go around on this.
You got it.
Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant. And if you threw a party, invited everyone you knew, you would see the biggest gift would be from me, and the card attached would say thank you for being a friend.
All right. Well, thank you to all of our supporters, really. Everybody hanging out in the live chat tonight. Y'all have been awesome. Lit tonight, as usual.
You guys, I've had a ball. And how fast an hour and a half goes by. Wow.
Well, that was actually 2, actually. So it's
there you go.
Yeah, we're flying. I guess it seems like time. We may as well do it and get the giveaway done. So
sweet.
Cake in a cup. Cheers. Congratulations.
Congrats, Cake in a cup.
Sweet. So you guys, whatever they won, I'll double it. I'll send them another one. So make sure if that can happen. So whatever Rasufa is giving him, I'll give him another one, another color or something, and sample.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. So, do you want that? Do you want them to reach out to you for that? Do you want myself or Rasufa to get a hold of info and pass it on to you? How would you?
Yeah, have Rasufa get that info and pass it on to me. Otherwise, because I'm just so busy, you guys. You know, the phones I have to be really cautious with because I have a lot of conference calls and around the world, and it's just hard for me. So yeah, I have to be conscious of that. But like I didn't mind giving my phone out, because it doesn't bug me. You know, I'm not going to get a bunch of wackos calling.
Okay. And then also for clarification, Cake in a Cup is from Australia. Is that going to be a problem?
Not at all. We will gladly ship. I have
Awesome.
that are-
Awesome. That's what we like to hear. That's a bit of will it work? Will it work? So this is very cool.
No.
Thank you.
That's so cool.
Yeah, no, it's, that's exciting. We'll have to get another shipment of beans over that way too from our crew. Right now we have a brother named Jeff that's often in our live chat that's been growing some genetics from our crew, and it's just the coolest thing to see it growing over there. Right? We got a bunch of closet pollen chuckers, and we're gonna send them round 2 here, and maybe
Guys,
we can get them to a bunch more communities out there.
Cool. They have an actual event where there's a couple thousand growers in California. They're given the certain strains to grow, and that's along with the Emerald Cup, which is kind of cool. And they have 2 to 4 plants that they grow, and one guy that grew, I think 2 or 3 years, won first, and he only uses our product. And I met him at one of the events. Absolutely loves our product. But that is so cool. You can get so much diversity from you. What'd you call yourself? Closet pollinate? What was that?
Pollen chuckers.
Pollen chuckers. I love that. But yeah, the strains you guys can pull off and things like that, and the grows are astounding. That's why I'm glad people like you can grow your own cannabis, because it's probably some of the best cannabis you can get. Some of the very best cannabis I've grown did not come in any kind of fancy package at all. It came from just other community members that are kind of just like me, but better at it when it comes to taking a plant and another plant. So cool. That's so cool. You guys are fortunate. It doesn't happen a lot. What's happening with you guys? It happens, but not a lot, and that's so cool to hear.
All right. Okay. Well, man, once again, thank you so much. This really has been a pleasure. I will get you that vape banner link tomorrow. I promise. By tomorrow, I might even, if I'm have the presence of mind after we're done, try and get it out to you. Cool. Quicker than that, but we will get you there. Don't forget to use promo code Booth Crew for 10% off. Everyone that's watching, same with you. You can click actually, we don't have that link anymore down below. No, you cannot click the link in the description below. I'm a liar. But if you hit, once again, if you go on vapbanhead.com, tongue twister, and use the Booth Crew promo code, you will get 10% off as well. If everyone watching. So.
Well, you guys, this has been a pleasure meeting all 3 of you. Like I said, face to face one day without question. I had a ball. Anytime, give me a call about anything. Love talking with you guys. Make sure you send me all your info, and I'll send you out some nice shit.
Sounds great.
That's awesome.
Really
It was a great show. Yeah, thank you again for all the info and everything. And
I've
yet to use mine, but I got a little bit from undisclosed.
I'm going to send you some, whether you use it or not. And you guys, your sweeties, we have a lot of clothing for them. Give me their sizes too. Your kids, whatever. I don't care how many there are of you. And
okay.
I know you Canadians have a lot of children. No, I'm kidding. But you guys,
well, it's cold in the winter. What, we got nothing else to do but make them. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Ain't going outside and that.
You guys, I love you all. Thank you so much.
All right, brother.
Until next time.
Have a great night. And everyone else, y'all know what time it is. We're going to bless your souls with some rock and roll and get out of here. What a great night it was. Thanks again, Dirk. Awesome time.
Thanks, you guys. Oh, yeah.
Imprint
coffin and I dug myself a hole. The pain I had buried me. The youth that want me turned me cold. I need asylum in prison. Forgotten and buried. Forgotten and buried. Well, I guess I'll never think about the future. 'Cause I've been wrong before. Well, I guess I'll never think about the future. 'Cause I've been wrong before. Well, I guess I'll never think about the future. I've been wrong before. Yeah, 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 yeah. I've been so wrong. I've been so wrong. I've been so wrong. I've been so wrong. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, cake in a cup. This one's for you. Congratulations. And once again, big shout out to Dirk just for being awesome. Have a great night, everyone. We're out of here. We'll see you again in a couple days.